Hello, good evening, and welcome to Wednesday night, Stamping with Sandra. So today I have for you it's carrying on from Sunday night's theme of the watercolouring. Today is actually National Pencil Day, or World Pencil Day. Anyway, Pencil Day. So I'm going to do another session of watercolouring tonight. And I thought, as it's March was Daffodil month, I haven't got these out lately, so I thought as it's nearly the last day, I thought I'd better get the daffodils out. So let's get down to the table, and we're going to be playing with the daffodils today and with some more watercolour techniques. So if you didn't catch me live on Sunday on Facebook, then we're going to have some more watercolouring techniques again to this evening. Okay, so I hope you're going to like this. I'm going to use my Stamparatus. And what I didn't use the other day was the Fluid 100 watercolour paper. We can use our Whisper White, a basic white, and we can use our shimmery white. But the best results for watercolouring is on the Fluid 100 paper. It's really thick. It's lovely paper. So I'm going to get a piece of that out of my packet, and we will cut this roughly to size. Take the stamp set out of the way. We want this, I'm going to fit this onto a note card. I love my note cards. If you've watched me quite a bit, then you will know that note cards are my thing. So I'm going to cut this to the same size. So this is 3.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken, yes. So I'm going to cut this at 3.5. This will be the same size as the front of my note cards, and that piece will make 2. So I'll pop one back in the box. Okay, and we're going to be playing with this one. So I shall pop this into the Stamparatus. Now, quite often it's good to have your piece of card. Oh dear, I've frozen. Hi Shaz, lovely to see you. You can hear me, but you can't see me at the moment. I think I'm going to need to zoom out a little bit as well when that comes back. Oh, how annoying. Lovely, thank you. Technology, well done. So I have my Stamparatus here. I was just saying that sometimes it's quite good to be a little bit bigger than your piece of that you actually need. This watercolour Fluid 100 I've cut in half, so I've actually got the whole piece in here. And I have got 2 choices here. By cutting it to the same size, I can actually trim it down to put onto my card later. But it also gives me that extra little bit of a border around the side here, because often if you go too close to the hinges, you sometimes don't get quite the look you want. So I have my lovely daffodils here, and I think I'm going to just play with some of the images here because they're really sticky. I want to be careful taking those off. Make sure that I'm not going to peel off the sticker on the back here. I think that that would be quite sufficient on here. Now what I'm going to do is actually cut off this edge piece. So let's try that there. Okay, and I've got, where did I put my other magnet? Haha. When you lose a magnet, don't forget you've got dies in your case. It's going to stick on there. So let's just put one up the top there just to hold the edge in. And I'm going to use this on here. Now I have got my small mat in here. I have my puck pusher, whatever you call it. And that's really handy. And I've got my Memento ink pad. Okay, now I like to put my stamp case underneath so it's nice and flat instead of going away from me downhill. Just realised I'm a little bit hoarse tonight. My throat, I don't think I've had a drink since this afternoon when I had a cup of tea with hubby. It's now 9 o'clock. I'm normally a tea-holic, so should be well oiled by now, but it's not had so many hot drinks today. Okay, the reason I've done it on the Stamparatus is exactly this. Don't know if you can see this close to. If I bring it up, it's not quite as clear as I would like because it's textured. Now when things are textured, they take a little bit extra to get into those nooks and crannies. So I just go over this once more. That's why our Stamparatus is the best. And then just press nice and firmly on there. Okay, and it's still got the textured in there, but I'm happier it's a darker image now. So I'm going to go with this one. And I wanted a piece of scrap. Got some scrap paper. I'm going to just pop that in there just to keep my mat clean from the ink. Take that out of the way as well. Okay, and that can go that way. Spread to the four corners. Okie doke. So, she says she's lost her pencils. Well, that's very clever, isn't it? I had my pencils out. Where have they disappeared? They're in a nice deep case. One moment, ladies. Go get a drink. No, that's fine. I'm more concerned about my watercolour pencils. I had them out. Oh, no, the note cuts. I had them out and they are not now where they should be. That's crazy. They can't have vanished. I've not been anywhere. I've not packed them up. How can I do... Oh, look. They're hiding behind the kitchen roll. So, here are my watercolour pencils. There we go. Firing on all four cylinders. So just for those who weren't with me on Sunday night, I have some blender pens in here. And I also have, that's a foreigner, some blending pens. I also keep in here a pencil sharpener in a little bank coin bag. The reason being, when you're out and about and you want to sharpen your pencils, you often can't find a rubbish receptacle to put your shavings in. So that's why you keep them in here. I have all my pencils. I also have some empty Wink of Stellas. Okay, because I will use one of these tonight. Because I didn't know how much water there was in there, I have my little jam jar. This is another necessity of watercolouring and an essential to have in the craft room. So I've got those utensils with me. I'm going to put those over just to one side. Were you with me on Sunday, Shaz? I can't remember. I'm just going to test this on a piece of scrap. Just get a piece of kitchen roll. There we go, and just see if there's anything in there. There is some shiny coming out of that one, so that's good. So I have got some different colouring mediums for you. I have the blender pens, which are in here. So I've got one in here that I used the other night. So blender pens come in a set of 3. Now these are glycerin filled. So these are, they're not wet as in, they're not water based, but they are glycerin filled. So they are damp. Now the different ways that you can colour, if I just take that watercoloured, the Fluid 100, I have a couple of little scraps in there. So they're going to be good for me to show you just to test on. So because it's textured, you will get ridges in here. You will get a textured effect. So if I just colour that with a dark pencil, then if you colour this in with the glycerin, you can see how that blends really nicely together. And you can shade and you can smooth that out and you can get lighter, etc. To wipe it, you just wipe it gently onto a piece of card, scrap, or onto kitchen roll. But they're glycerin based, so they won't run like water does. These 3 are all 3 different nibs. There's a fine, a broad, and then a flat based one for doing a colour wash. So I mostly use the fine one. But if we then go and do that again with the same pencil, and we take a water brush, we just make sure that there's some down in the nib here, some water, and it floats. It's just a nice technique. Now this is my preferred option. Okay, you can stretch that pencil. The water, it won't work with ordinary colour pencils, like kids' colouring pencils. They have to be watercolour pencils. Okay, so sorry this light is a little bit bright today, but you can see those 2 pieces, one with the blender pen, one with the water brush. They are very similar, but when you don't want to have too much wet on the surface, like when I use tissue paper for the faux silk technique, that's really nice. I think I've done a YouTube on that one. I like this one because it flows. The water just pushes and flows with you. So we'll use this one again tonight, but I wanted you just to be able to see it. The other method is, just wipe that on the kitchen roll, The other method is with the Wink of Stella. When your Wink of Stella has run out, you simply unscrew the barrel. I bring my little jar over, and then you squeeze the air out of it. Can you see that? Yeah. Squeeze the air out, dip it in, and suck up some water. Repeat that a few times. So squeeze the air out, suck up some water. Okay. And then you screw it back together, and then you shake it. There's a little ball bearing in there, and you shake it. And that will do exactly the same thing again, except it's washing that mica out of the barrel. It's stuck around the barrel here, and I have got several of these. I don't know what age all of them are, but if I use this as a water brush, it's a free water brush. It's one of my claim to fame that it is free, because you've already paid for your sparkly bit, but once it finishes and it's run out, you can then sparkle some more. Okay, so hopefully you can see the sparkle this end. Oh, look at that, that's lovely. This is sparkly because it's wet, that's all. There's lights catching on it, but this is sparkly because it's twinkly. So you have the blender pen that come in a pack of 3, then the aqua, the water painters, and then the recycled Wink of Stella. Okay, so depending on what you're doing as to what sort of texture you want from it. So this is going to be for the daffodils. So I'm going to zoom you in a bit more because the bright lights will lessen and the nearer I get to you. Just zoom some more. That will gradually take that away. So I'm going to do you a little bit of both. I'm going to take, this is the old olive, and I'm going to colour some of the branches here. Okay, you don't have to colour it exactly. Okay, I'm just going down the middle of that one, and I'm going to take my water brush. I do like to have a piece of kitchen roll to hand, because we don't want the water that comes through the barrel, we don't want that to flood the nib, but we don't want to scrub the nib either. We just want to wipe it gently. And then I'm going to pick up some of this ink, and you will see this changing before your eyes. So I do wipe my pen regularly just to stop the water from drowning the card. Okay, and we're just stretching that and loosening that pigment. And there we go. Looking beautiful. And you can get some nice shadings with this as well. So just dry the nib of your pen. And then the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to get a Mossy Meadow. I think that one's Mossy Meadow. So the other way I like to do this is by taking the water from the nib of the pen. So the pencil, the watercolour pencil. So this is actually a very economical way of painting. So then I'm going to come down on the darker one at the top here. Okay, and I think this stays a little bit drier. Don't know why. And then you can take this off here and actually put some shading into the lighter one as well. So this is sitting wet. It is fluid 100 paper. It will absorb that, so it's good. But you can stretch it out as much as you want. So you can add water to dilute it down. So now if I want some more water, I could clean that brush in there and just come back, dry it off, and then stretch that out some more, and it will make it lighter. Okay, it's quite therapeutic, the good old watercolouring. So just take a little bit in there. It doesn't need loads of colour. It makes your pencils, taking it from the nib like this. Some of the ladies on a Sunday night were really fascinated by the taking it from the nib. It makes your watercolour pencils last so much longer. Bless you. Thank you. Yes, you were here Sunday. That's good. So you have seen a lot of the watercolouring. I'm trying to have a theme of the week, Shaz. So I kind of like trying to keep to one method, one technique. So tonight is the daffodils, because it's National Daffodil Month is coming to an end. That's the whole of the month of March. Okay, a lot of this is self-taught. I've watercoloured for quite a while. It took me a while to get over to the blends, the Stampin' blends, but I'm loving those as well. You can see how I'm coming around here, and I've got different colours. I've got the really pale here, yet I'm still on Mossy Meadow. Okay, it just gives some natural look to it. So this is the stem. So I can come in there with a little bit more. Just take that round there. And I'll take I'm back on Old Olive now. So I'll take this round the stem here. And then this one must be the end of that stem as well. And we have a little bit more up here. Okay. Just trying to work out where the stems come in there. So if I bring that all up, I've got one more stem to come down there. I'm going to bring it up to the camera so that you can see the different greens in there. So remember, I've done this on Fluid 100 and I've used Old Olive and I've used the Mossy Meadow. So there's two different colours in there. Now the daffodils can be any mixture of your yellows, oranges and white even. I don't want to leave these white, so I'm going to go for my oranges and yellows. Okay, but I can get texture in there with those two. So I think I'm going to go for yellow for the main parts, and then I'll do orange trumpets in the middle. Oops, this is very wet. Just conscious of that. And if you do need to blot, have a clean piece of kitchen roll with you. But if you wipe your, if I just say that the pens do vary. I've had ones before whereby the valve in here is really good and really strong, and I've had others the way the water will carry on seeping through. So you don't want them to be wet. You just want them to be damp. So dry off. Don't be afraid to dry it on your kitchen roll, and then you can come in with this is Daffodil Delight Pencil. Good colour for daffodils. Really good colour. The daffodils are carrying over into the new catalogue, so if anybody's watching this on repeat, guess who's coming to say hello? Can you hear her, Shaz? Daddy's in bed. I'm sure she knows when I'm live. I've been here this afternoon and she hasn't pestered me at all. And she's now scratching at the door. So very therapeutic, so I'll try and keep talking to you because you can fall asleep doing this. As I said the other day, it's something that you could have, one little case of your pencils, a water brush, piece of kitchen roll, or you know the travel tissues. I sometimes, when I've been on holiday, I've had a couple of travel tissues in there because they're pre-folded and they're nice and flat. And just pre-stamp some images that you want to take with you and watercolour. And then you're ready to make them into cards when you come home. So it's a good holiday takeaway for a little bit of crafting without having too much. Okay, I have got a little bit of a technique when I assemble my card tonight as well. So do stay with me to the end. And Smudge is interested in daffodils. I think she wants to come in. Hi Smudge, yes. She's a blesser, isn't she? She goes up, because David's already gone to bed. He went to bed at 8:30. He was really tired. So they do go upstairs and they lay on the bed with him. She has her spot by my feet, or where my feet would be. And then after a little while, she wants to come back to Mummy. And there we go. And there's the trumpet. There's another trumpet. So there we go. I've just got a little bit of shading in there. Okay, and then go on to the orange. So this is pumpkin, I believe. Yeah, pumpkin pie. So I'll take some of this, and I'm just going to turn it slightly because I'm right-handed, so I want to get the angle right. So I'm just going to bring this in here. This is pumpkin pie, but it's looking more of a darker colour, and I think I know why this is, because I've used the Memento instead of the Stays On tonight. For watercolouring, I would normally use Stays On. This one's coming a little bit cleaner. There we go. And with the pigment, you can get as much or as little on your brush. You can push it around. So have fun with it. Don't be afraid. It's only a piece of card. You can always come back and do another piece. So I'm going to go back over this one. I've let it dry just a little bit. I wanted to bring that more prominent with the orange. Pumpkin pie. And a second layer on this one as well, just in between the lines and in the trumpet. There we go, look at that. Okay, so that's one image there. We have two choices. We can die cut this out. I want to grab my card I'm going to use tonight. Where did that end up? No, I had a blank. There he is, he's hiding. So here's my blank note card. Now I want to take the edge of this card and I'm going to stamp. There's a little filigree down the side here, like a little border. Okay, so I wanted to use that. So I'm thinking if I had that on the inside, like so, and then take off a piece about that width. So I'm going to grab a ruler. So I want to take off 2 centimetres really. So I grab my little trimmer. There we go. I'm just going to take this in the trimmer just to the 2 centimetre mark. Just there. In fact, if I go on the 3/4 of an inch, that will be fine. I like this trimmer. I've just done another video that's going to go live tomorrow night and for a vlog hop. And I like this trimmer because in the inches, it's got the lines coming all the way down. So you can keep it nice and straight, that whole thing. So what I'm doing is just taking that little piece off the edge. And it's also picked up the stamp from me. So on here, I want to have that. I'm not sure that the sticker is dead in the middle of the rubber. So this is another one for the Stamparatus. I'm going to have to let her in, guys. She's going to ruin the door otherwise. Come on. Bless her. You get yourself stuck up with the double-sided. Okay, then I will add that to my list so I can do some bits with that for you. The secret is to put them on first, to put them on the back of your card before you stick the item on. So I can teach you an easy way with that, so that's good. Excuse me, it's gone cold in here now. My fire is going out. I think I've got double trouble. I think Tiggs is now scratching to come in. Have to just listen out a little bit. So this one I am going to put right up to the edge, but I'm going to have it in the middle because I think that the sticker isn't on there in the right. Excuse me, ladies. I think he's worried that she's having treats and he's not. So this is right up to the edge here. So I'm going to stamp this on the note card. I have got more if this goes horribly wrong because it's right near the edge. Hello. Let's say hello to everybody. I wouldn't normally have this right to the edge like this, but I'm hoping this is going to be okay. Let's move that one out of the way, shall we? And press on there nicely. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love that one. So that was just going to come on the side. Sorry, I need to zoom you out again. Okay, come back out. So this was just to put a little bit of detail on the side here. And then I'm going to cut this one out. And I'm going to mount this one on here. There is another smaller... There's a smaller daffodil as well. So you could actually put one of each, I believe. So we're running out of space here, guys. So I'm bringing over my little machine. The mini cut and emboss, if you're quick, has currently got 20% off. So if anybody's watching this in the morning, there is 20% off that at the moment. Okay, so I cut this to size just so I'd got a shape to go by. I'm going to take a slither off the edge so it will go through the mini trimmer. Okay. These little tiny pieces always come in handy, so if you do trim any off, then don't worry about it. Keep them in your box, and they're handy for greetings. Okay, so I'm going to take that off there, and I'm going to be getting the die cut that goes with this one. I think it's the 2-prong. So I'm going to come on here with this and line that up nicely. I do have some tape under here. This is the repositionable Scotch tape, so it's removable. So I do have a couple of pieces of that on here because they have a tendency to move. The good news is that the magnetic plates are in the next catalogue. I don't know if we're getting them immediately, but they are coming. They are on their way. So it'll be when they get to the warehouse. Both for the mini and for the full-size machine. Now, that is one of the reasons I wanted the mini machine, because I wanted the magnetic plate with it. I use my mini for nearly everything, and so it's a valuable, really invaluable to have that to keep the dies in place. So that'd be lovely. Okay, so there's my images. I'll pop those out of the way. And bring my card back. So I have this on here like that, and I'm going to raise this, but I want to put some speckles in the background. What's up? So on this part of the card, I want to use the little dotty pieces. I have this one, and it's just tiny little sprinkles. And I thought that would look nice if I did that in the Daffodil Delight, just in the background. Okay, but I am going to make a cut in the seam here to do a little bit of technique for you. So I stamp some off so I haven't got them all neat and don't go straight with anything. There we go, just a little bit of detail on there like so. And then I'm going to use the baker's twine that I brought over here. Now I'm going to use the green. It's not the right green for this, but the greens do blend in together. So I'm going to use, this is the trio of baker's twine. These are from the Fan baker's twine. This was the one with the sports thing on it, the baseball, I believe. So I'm looking for my piercing tool. I had this earlier when I was filming. There it is. So once I work out where I would like my greeting to be, my flowers to be, I want to make a hole in about here. So just about where my finger is. I'm going to make a little hole here. So I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to make sure that it's poked through all the way so we get a decent size hole. Okay, like so. And I have the baker's twine. So this is a bit of a technique. He doesn't want to miss out. No, he's yeah, they're both being a bit manoeuvres today, aren't you? She's come to sit on my right hand side staring at me. She knows where the treat pot is. She has had some visitors in today and she has had treats. So don't let her tell you she hasn't been fed, because she has. So what I've done here is I've pierced a hole. I've poked the edge of I've laid the baker's twine over the top, and then I've laid this nib over the top and I've pushed it through. So now we have a hole that comes through to the inside, and this can sit on there and it won't slide. So we can take this off to the side and we bring it round to the front, and we'll wrap this piece of twine round the front here. Then the image can come over the top or underneath. I think maybe over the top. But I'm going to tie a little bow here. So first of all, I'm going to snip that off and then make myself a little bow. So I want it to come just around the corner onto the front here. but it's anchored. It's not going to go anywhere. So sometimes when you wrap something round, it's going to keep sliding, but this won't. Okay, get it nice and straight when you tie it up tight. Okay, and if you're like me, I like to do a knot first. I've got right over left and left over right, so that I have a nice tight knot, because otherwise it'll just keep moving while you're trying to tie a bow. There you go. And once you've got a knot on there, that might have been a granny actually. Once you've got it securely tied, you can then tie your little bow. So that's a little tip for ribbons as well as the baker's twine. There we go. Just shape your bow. Pull the loops smaller. Make them tighter. Okay, and you can play with that till your heart's content. And I'll trim the tails off a little bit. Don't want them too unruly. Okay, so that's there. So that's keeping that secure, so it's just going through that hole in the middle. If you are doing ribbon, he needs a treat from Shaz there, bless him. I can't quite reach him from here. Don't know where he's gone. So this was with piercing a hole because it was baker's twine. If you were using ribbon, then I would use a craft knife. This is actually a packing knife. But if I had a slit on here, I am on a self-healing mat. So in that fold, I would make a point at the top and I would run this down to the width of your ribbon. So then you lay your ribbon over the top and you put the back of the blade through the slit and then you poke it through to the back. Okay, and that's how you do exactly the same technique, but with ribbon. So the flat ribbon would lay over the top and just lay it through there on the back, so you don't cut it, it's the back of the knife, poke it through, and then you could do the same and wrap that round as well. This is a packing knife that my brother-in-law gave to David when he used to work for a packaging company, just slitting boxes over. When we got together, it was out in the garage and it wasn't being used, and hey, put the tool in front of a crafter and she makes use of it, doesn't she? So I have my 3D dimensionals, so I'll grab my tweezers. There we go, just put a few of these on. There we go, I'll be a bit generous. I want a smaller one down there. I think I had some little ones out, there we go. Just down the stem. Those out of the way. So this is going to go on raised. It's quite a quick little card tonight. It's been a long day. But I am going to add a butterfly. I haven't used the butterflies in this set yet. Okay, so then that can come over the top of those banners. And pop that in there like so. I'm going to put a greeting on here as yet, and then I'm going to play with the butterflies. I want this to lay a little bit flatter. I'm just going to grab that bone folder and just press on there a little bit more. And on the back. There we go. Just so that it lies flatter. So the sentiments in here, we have a choice of 2. We've got Easter blessings and Happy Mother's Day. So I haven't got an Easter card to send really, so I think I'm going to see what else I've got on the table. What do we have? A nice small one. Excuse me leaning over the camera. That's quite a nice one actually. I like the Easter Friends set because you've got my friend on there, so that's quite a nice one to do. So we'll have that one. And I have a block here somewhere as well. Take that off there. And pick up my friend. Now, I'm going to use the piece of white that I trimmed off the edge of the note card here. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there. And it's the same ink pad. Use the black Memento. This is a really nice dainty greeting. There's lots of greetings in the new set, the new catalogue, sorry, lovely sets that I like. So I'm stamping this on the side on this strip because nothing goes to waste. So it's the piece that's come off there. And I'm going to take that down a little bit narrower. When you've got a small note card, I like them to be a similar sort of in proportion. So I'm going to leave the same gap either side, and I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom of this one without cutting the tails off the long letters. I think that's that right. Maybe a fraction off the top. There we go. I think that will look nicely. Now we have the cards there. It's still a little bit long on the ends, so I will take that down a little bit more, and I want to do something with those ends. So I think I'm going to slant them slightly. Just be a bit different. This trimmer is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to slant these very slightly. I think I did this the other night. So I'm going to take that one, and to have exactly the same slant on the other side, you turn that piece over. Where am I? Oh, I'm just going to eyeball it. It's too fiddly to get my fingers around, so I'm just going to come that way. If you turn it over, you can actually get exactly the same angle piece. So like so. I think that's a little bit more upright. There we go. A lot of faffing about, but it's worth it. Now I have the ink pad here for one of the greens. Here we go. So all greens go well together. I think I had my green blend. Just move you over, you can't see everything, can you? So I'm going to use my green blend here and just fluff the edges. Okay, just because I want a little bit of green on there. Just work that in a bit. In fact, they're so faint, it's hardly working. So I'm just going to come in from the edges a bit. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, you can see the green building up. So soft, these brushes, they are gorgeous. Just giving that a little bit of lip on the edge there. It's just a gentler way than doing it on a piece of green card, because the middle of the greeting is still white. Just going to give it a little bit of an edge. There we go, a little bit on that corner. There we go, just so delicate. There we go, can you see that? It's just got that edge to it. So pop that over the top there, and that needs to go on pads as well, but we're going to go straddle over the stem, and so we want the pads either end. On Sunday night when I came off the live, I said my desk was an absolute tip. It doesn't take long to messy everything up once you've got everything out and surrounding you. So in the middle of this, because it's going to straddle over the stems, I'm just going to add a little dot of Tombow just to anchor that piece down as well. Okay, and then we're going to come in the centre with that. Keep the ribbon out of the way and straddle that there, like so. Press that down in the middle so it'll all bond nicely. You need to press on the pads, because on the Stampin' Dimensionals, because it's straddling the ribbon, so it'll want to jump off. Okay, now I'm wondering whether that's going to be enough or whether we want to have a sparkly butterfly on there. I think sparkly butterfly. I think we've got time, haven't we? We're good for time tonight. So I haven't used this one yet, but we have a butterfly and a die. Two dies actually. I think I might use the little one because it's going to just the die, because it's going to be more in proportion on my card. So I think we'll cut that one out. We'll run that through the machine and then we will colour it. So that's going to be on a piece of the watercolour card. We had a little scrap here of that. I caught the sleeve on that, sorry. Put this up one end. And then pop that on there like so. Run that through. Look at that, isn't that sweet? Mustn't lose it, so I'm just going to put that away. It's a small die, easily lost. Okay, that one off there. Now with this one, I need to bring back a piece of scrap again. Slide you off because I can't get hold of you. Now, what can we sparkle on here? We need the Wink of Stella. Just wondering what colour pencil to use as a contrast. What would you like to see, Shaz? Clean that one. How about a bright pink? How about, no, pink and orange might clash. Rich raspberry is more muted, isn't it? I think. Yes, let's try flirty, rich raspberry. Okay, so again, I've made sure that my bristle and my brush on here is wet. So I'm going to take this off here. It works exactly the same as the water brush. So we're just going to put some shine around here. That needs to be wet as well. Okay, I've just dried off the brush because it's a little bit on the wet side. So if I colour all over the butterfly first. Okay. I could have just coloured a piece of the card first and then cut it out. Might have been a little bit easier. Okay, and we'll let that dry just a second, and then I'm going to go over the main features on there a little bit darker. So if I really concentrate on the ink there, I don't know how much of this you can see. We've just on those raised pieces, just do some dots of concentrate. You know, like the eyes, I think they call it eyes on a butterfly. They are running a little bit. Okay, so just clean that brush off. Very gently just stroke that on kitchen roll. You don't want to scrub it because you ruin the nib of the brush. Okay, so if I can just pick that up and bring that up to the camera. Can you see that? Cutie cute. Okay, leave him to dry a little bit longer, and then I will put some foam pads on the back there. And in fact, let's see where we're going to place it, because I wonder whether down here might be better than on the flower. Either up there, hanging off the edge, or on the edge there. Oh, I think I like it in there. Where do you reckon, Shaz? The pencils are extremely good value. They last and they last and they last. So many places you could stick this. I think by the greeting it takes some of the plainness off the greeting. So I think I'm going to go there. So I need a foam pad this end. Which was that? This end. And then I'll put some Tombow the other. Because that's going to sit on the stems, just like the ribbon did. Why have you decided to seize up? Oh, there you go. Always the way. Seizes up and then it does a whole great blob when you don't want it. I'm going to bring that out there. So this end is suspended, so that's got a foam pad under it, and this is flat onto the stems. So I think all we've got to do is find some bling that will match. Oh, and I've frozen again. Sorry, ladies. Ah, are you back? You're back. I'm just looking for some bling. Of course, that would be a natural one. I'm thinking if that's going to be the right shade. I think, you know, it might just be some pearls tonight. Trying to find the right shade. I've got some pink there, but it's the wrong shade of pink. I don't want it to clash, so I think if I put two of those on the body, in the middle there. Oops. Stay. It might be that it's still too wet. Let me press them down firmly. Okay, and that just accents the body just on there a little bit. I have got the butterfly ones, which are lovely, but I think on that card with the pink, it's better to have neutral. So I hope, can't see, yeah, that's it, you can't see the bottom of the card. There we go. It's because I zoomed in so you could see the detail a little bit more. Okay, but the colouring is just so easy with the watercolour pencils. So do have a practice with it. Just play with them. Like I say, if you've got a box, that one of the empty Stampin' Up cases that you can take things on holiday, they're great to take away, just to do a little bit in a caravan or in a tent camping, or I've even taken stuff on cruise ships just to sit on the deck and just sit and watercolour my heart away. Okay, so I hope you like that today. So it's National Daffodil Month and it's Pencil Day today. So I think I did post that the other night on Facebook, about the pencil day. But because we've got pencils, we're crafters, and so we've used the watercolour pencils. Okay, so I'll take a photo of that and I'll update the front cover for you. And if there's anything else, that would be a really beautiful card to receive. Haha, was that a little hint there? I have got somebody in mind for this, somebody who needs that extra little, a little bit of love today. So I think that will get sent somewhere tomorrow. But yeah, they're quite quick to do, just watercolouring and die cut it out once you've got everything out in front of you. And don't forget the 3 different ways of doing your colouring. So we started off with the blend, then we went to the water painter, and then we went to Wink of Stella with water in it when it runs out. So you get a new lease of sparkle. Okay, so lovely to see you. I shall bring you back to me, take that off and bring you back over. And I'll make a note of that, Shaz, with regards to the sticky back, the double-sided adhesive sheets. Okay, I will bring that in some point. Okay, I don't know what next week's theme is, so oh yes, I think I do actually. Yes, I think I have got a theme. Okay, so I will see you again soon. Take care and see you Sunday and Wednesday. Okay, bye. There's another video going live tomorrow. There's a YouTube. There's a vlog hop, a little mini vlog hop that we do between, I think there's 5 of us this month. So, and it's all colours of the rainbow. So do check back. It'll go live at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and you have the details at the bottom of my description to go to the next one and just hop around 5 of us. Okay, so do make sure you come and pop